great basketball.
We'll be covering pre and post game back on this channel.
Oh my God. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Celtics Postgame Live. I am your host, Rob Haytea. Joining with me is my co-host, Ian Angelo. Joining us shortly will be Justin Lowe, our other co-host. Energy is not high right now, Ian. I'm not going to lie. I'm not happy. It's almost like I feel like I just should laugh, right? It's like laughable right now because it's just so bad. Let's get into the technical things here. Celtics lose 115 at home in game one of the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs, the NBA playoffs, really. But Tatum, he had 39 points, 11 rebounds. JB, he had 23 points, 14 of which came in that first quarter. He was kind of an absence after that. Sixers, no Embiid. Steal game one. James on a masterclass. He had 45. Celtics just kind of hung around all game long. They allowed Philly to kind of knock on the door. They stayed in the game, and Philly, who's a very good basketball team, they had the late game execution. Harden hit big shots. A Brogdon turnover led to a wide open layup for Maxey to give the Sixers the lead. Tatum goes to the line, and then Harden sends us home. So, Ian, you know the deal. Your thoughts, your opinions, your reactions.
Stop me if you've heard this one before, okay? Okay, just give me a second.
Yeah.
The Celtics didn't take their opponent seriously. They let them hang around the entire game. You know, they had a great start in the first half. You know, they shot like 70-something% at the first half. And then they completely just forget how to play basketball, and they let the other team back in the game, and they take the lead at the end of the game on a game-winning three. Does that sound familiar to you? Does that sound familiar?
Yeah. No, it does. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, because it happened in Game 5 versus Atlanta. The exact same thing. Oh, my God.
I'm not going to lie.
I mean, how many times are they going to do the same thing over and over and over again? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. They do the same shit every single time.
I'm not going to lie.
I'm not even mad at it at this point. It's just like, do they even care at this point? Like, I don't know.
Well, like,
I don't know. It's
whatever. I got so much to dive into, I think. One of which, this essentially makes it so that the Sixers can rest Embiid in game two. Philly did their job. They came on the road in Boston and stole a game. Essentially they now own home court advantage, technically. That's how these things work. So essentially game two, the Sixers can lose and they still have all the momentum, which allows Embiid to rest, right? I don't know how severe his injury is. I believe it's a strain, a knee strain is what they're calling it. He's questionable for game two. He went through warmups, but that's besides the point. I am officially getting a little concerned with Mazzulla. I have always been a guy that has been on Mazzulla's side. I thought he was solid throughout the course of a regular season. I never really saw many flaws in his coaching style. But a coach really gets put to the test in the playoffs. And I think Joe's inability to make defensive adjustments is going to be what essentially drives this team into the ground. The drop coverage has to stop. You can't allow James Harden to see 4 or 5 wide open shots to see the game. The Sixers, who play extremely, extremely heavy pick and roll offense with him and Joel Embiid, they are the best team in the league when it comes to the pick and roll. If you allow James Harden to step into 25 mid-range jump shots or to step in to 10 open 3-point shots, he is going to find a rhythm. He was struggling in round one. And now he comes into round 2 with a really great game 1, 45 points. I mean, it was, in my opinion, just a coaching collapse. I thought the Celtics execution was solid up until the last 2 minutes. We really took advantage of Embiid not being in the paint. We're not going to get that much more. Tatum's not going to be able to get into the paint and score 40 points with only taking 5 threes much more. I thought the ball wasn't in his hands enough in the fourth quarter. I thought Jaylen Brown wasn't aggressive enough in the second half. I thought we showed no fight on the defensive end. I thought it was a really, really bad collapse.
It's just like, I don't know. I just sound like a broken record at this point. Like, it just happens so often that, I don't know, maybe it is starting to become a concern. And it probably is a concern because we said this a million times. We said if the Celtics are going to do this thing where they let their opponent stay in the game and opponent still has a chance to win at the end of the game, they're going to lose to good teams.
Yeah.
That is what we've been saying. We said it when they lost to the Magic. We said it when they lost to the Rockets. We said it when we lost to Atlanta in the last playoff round. It's just like, I don't know if they get it. They just don't get it. Charles Barkley said it on the broadcast. Like, he basically said the same thing. It's like the Celtics are doing it again where they didn't learn from the million other times that they've done this. And it's just annoying because, this team, the only person that can beat this team is themselves. And they've shown that time and time again. When they're on, they play amazing basketball. When they do this shit where it's just, letting their team stay in the game and playing down to their competition and not respecting their opponents, this kind of thing happens. And it happens way too often where you assume by now they would at least have learned from this mistake from at least once, but it never happens. And it's just frustrating.
Jaylen Brown took 10 shots tonight.
Which was ridiculous. Which is ridiculous because he had 7 in the first half.
And he had 8 of 10. He was 8 of 10 from the floor. He missed 2 shots, 80% from the floor. He struggled. He turned the ball over 4 times. Other than that, I thought he had a great game. And I don't know. I thought Derek White had his worst game of the playoffs in a long time. White has been so great for us. He kind of had a collapse tonight. And you're right. It really is just it's when we were losing these games, we are losing them in the same fashion. And I feel like at this point, you can kind of get a sense of when the Celtics are going to lose, right? You kind of know. I mean, the fourth quarter is happening, and I'm like, I don't know. Like and then 3 minutes rolled around, and and I'm like, I don't think we're going to win this thing. It's clear as day when the Celtics are playing good basketball when they're going to win, and it's clear as day when they're going to lose. And right now, I'm looking at Joe Mazzulla, and he is now on the hot seat because with the Milwaukee Bucks out of the playoffs, the door is wide open for the Celtics team. With Joel Embiid injured, the door was wide open for this Celtics team. With the New York Knicks trailing 1-0 to the 8th seed, the door is wide open for this Celtics team. With there really not being a clear dominant team out west, the door is open for the Celtics team. With having the best record in home court advantage throughout the rest of the playoffs, dare I say it again, Ian, the door is open for this Celtics team. And what have they done? They have done nothing but make it harder on themselves. And I have seen nothing throughout the course of this playoffs that suggests it's the players. I am looking at Joe Mazzulla. I want to see defensive adjustments for game 2, and I want to see better scheming offensively in game 2 because he has been horrible. And I need to see Grant Williams on the damn court more because he's physical, Grant plays with passion, and Grant can knock down big-time shots, and he's been there in the moment before. I never thought I'd be saying that about Grant Williams, but God damn it, Joe, I need Grant Williams in this game, and I need your rotations to be better because he has been terrible. Terrible.
Yep.
Like, terrible.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you pretty much said it. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just like, and like, it's not like Joe is like this entirely new coach that hasn't seen what the Celtics run before. Like, he was on the Celtics last year. He saw how bad they were with this kind of thing. And like, I mean, I give credit to Joe Mazzulla. He's a really smart guy. I mean, he does his thing, he does his pregame, coach's game or whatever. It's just like, I mean, you watched this team last year. You can't tell me that, you can't tell me with the way they lost in the finals and the way they went across the playoffs that doing the same exact thing was going to work. I mean, you can't tell me that. It's just like, and I agree. I mean, there's nothing that I've seen to where the Celtics are going to change anytime soon. So Joe Mazzulla, and I mean, a lot of people have said Joe Mazzulla isn't the right guy, and Ime Udoka should have stayed around. I mean, these kind of performances and these kind of games are the reason why people say that. And I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just kind of one of those things where it's like, what are you going to do at this point? The only thing I can take solace in, we lost game 1 against Milwaukee last year, and we still ended up winning.
And we lost game 1 against Miami as well.
That doesn't excuse the fact that the Celtics still make everything more difficult on themselves all the time. I think they like it, honestly. Like, I think they actually enjoy making life more harder on themselves. I think they actually enjoy it. That's the only explanation I can come up with as to why they continue to do this every single time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I need to see some adjustment. I really do. We played drop coverage through 6 games against the Atlanta Hawks, and I thought maybe it was to stop the lob threat because Trae Young's got this great vision. You figure you play drop coverage, you eliminate that backdoor lob, you kind of get Trae Young frazzled a little bit. Maybe he figured it out in game 5. He really got it going, and it's very obvious that guards hurt this team. A good offensive guard that can play the pick and roll hurts this team. And the Sixers may have just found the ticket of that. And like I said, the Philadelphia 76ers play really, really good pick and roll offense with Joel Embiid on the court. Do I think D'Anthony Melton is going to give us 17 again, 6 of 10 from beyond the arc? Probably not. Or 5 of 6 from beyond the arc, sorry. Probably not. But at the same time, Maxey was 2 of 9. I mean, they didn't shoot great. And I look at the other side, and Boston shot 59% from the floor, and we lost. We only took 26 threes. Super uncharacteristic of us. And essentially, Philly had us playing a game that wasn't our brand of basketball. It was really bad. It was really bad. I'm still confident, but game 2 I really think could decide this series. And I'm saying how we, not just winning game 2, how you win game 2. I need to see adjustments, like real adjustments from Mazzulla, because what is he, 34? He's 34 years old. He's a young guy. He's been around the team. He was on the finals run on the bench last year. But at some point, Brad's got to go down there and say, listen, Joe, we got to switch things up. Like, this isn't working. Defensively, we've gotten burnt for 7 games in this playoffs. All 7 games, I don't think the Celtics have played a good defensive game. And last year, that is what got us to the finals. We were tried and true on the defensive side of the basketball. And I mean, defense is reliable, and I don't know. It's just like, oh, you're right. You made a good point, right? We did lose game 1 at home to Milwaukee last year. But it's just like you don't have no Embiid. There's no Joel Embiid to a Sixers team that really they run off Joel Embiid, and it was the
You know what we watched tonight? We watched the 2018 Houston Rockets. That's what we watched tonight.
Yeah,
that's who the Celtics were playing tonight. The Celtics were not playing the 76ers. They were playing the 2018 Rockets because James Harden I mean, credit to James Harden. The Celtics were giving him anything he wanted. So, I mean, why wouldn't he try and, do all the stuff that he's doing and, have his best playoff performance since like 2018 and look like he's, 10 years younger.
Yeah, it's just like the Celtics' problems are so obvious. I mean, you know me. I mean, I haven't been hard on Joe all year, Ian, right? I have always been like I've stood true to Joe. But I mean, he looks terrible. Like he literally looks like he doesn't know what to do. And then he comes into the media and the press conference and he gives us these just these terrible responses. These like he was asked about what he thought about Al Horford the last possession, right? When Harden took the shot, the three to seal the game. And he responded with, Al's been our best defender all year. I'm okay with it. It's like the same thing happened against the Hawks in Game 5 when Trae Young, we allowed him to isolate and step into a game-winning three. It's just like you remove the interim tag so early. You have the best roster in the NBA right now, and you look frazzled, Joe. It's time for you to respond, not the players. It's time for Joe Mazzulla to make a move and to respond because I know it's just game one, but you have to win that damn game. You have to win that game. To get a free win on the Philadelphia 76ers, come on.
It's just, I don't know. I mean, Ime Udoka, did we say this about Ime Udoka last year? I can't even remember. But it's just kind of one of those things where it's like what do you do? It's literally the definition of insanity. I think the Celtics must have that up in the locker room or something, and they use it as their pregame quote or whatever because I don't know. It's just so hard to explain why the Celtics do this all the time. Not to mention the fact the Bruins did the same shit yesterday, what I don't want to talk about because fucking Bruins. I don't know. Maybe the TD Garden is just a terrible home crowd. That's the only thing I can think of. Or the Celtics just have a fetish for making things hard on themselves. I don't know.
Yeah.
Someone look at their search history. We'll see.
It's just like I don't know. I'm looking at the box score and I'm like, we should have won this game. Tatum had 39 points on extremely efficient. Everyone shot super efficiently besides Derek White.
You know what's hilarious? I made a video talking about this game and talking about the series. And I said the person that needs to step up is Jason Tatum because he was terrible against the 76ers in the regular season. And, there was times in the series against Atlanta where the Celtics were awful, and most of the time it was because of Tatum. So we needed to see him step up, and he actually stepped up. It's just one of those things where it's just like, what are you going to do? And I don't know what happened with Jaylen Brown. I don't know why he stopped shooting. I love it when Jaylen Brown shoots the ball. He took 3 shots in the second half, and one of those shots was a three-pointer that was from the damn near half-court line. I don't know what he was doing. And, it's not like they have, these elite defenders that are going to stop him. It's not like they have, a Davion Mitchell or, I don't know, what's another good defensive guard? A Marcus Smart or something, or Derek White or something. It's not like the 76ers have that guy. Jaylen Brown was basically probably guarded by Tyrese Maxey or James Harden.
Or Tobias Harris, who's terrible.
Tobias Harris. It's Philadelphia 76ers don't have anybody that can really legitimately stop Tatum and Brown. I don't know why Brown stopped shooting. The only thing stopping him is himself. I don't know. This is the problem with post-game shows is that we all have 20/20 vision after watching what we saw.
It's just all year we were kind of like, oh, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Losing to bad. I don't think this is a product of losing to bad teams, mind you, this loss. Because end of the day, I don't think the Celtics even just didn't take this game seriously. I think there is a clear as day problem with our scheme, with how we are approaching our defense and how we are approaching our offense. And I have always said it. I'm always a guy that's like, all right, well, the players are the one that are playing, right? They're the ones executing. But it's like, I don't know. It is clear as day that Joe Mazzulla is terrible. He doesn't know what he's doing. He looks lost. And it's just like game 2 is the definition of a must win. You lose that and you're probably getting packed home in 6 games, I'd say. You probably take one on the road in Philly and hopefully you win 1 in 5 or game 5 back in Boston. But you're probably going home in 6 games if you lose game 2, both at home. There's one thing Boston does, and it's respond. I give them credit for that.
Yeah, they love responding.
They love responding.
Maybe that's why they do it. Maybe that's why they choke games like this. So they have a reason to respond. So because obviously they don't like playing normally. So maybe that's the reason. Maybe we cracked the code as to why the Celtics love doing this to themselves.
Yeah, the Celtics.
That's the only thing we can. That's the only. God damn it, man! Like what? I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. I was thinking about what I was going to say this entire time, and I just couldn't think of anything because it's stuff we've already said before. I guess one thing we haven't talked about is what the fuck was Malcolm Brogdon doing at the end of that game, throwing that pass straight to Tyrese Maxey, like. He had his J.R. Smith moment in the finals. Like, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I mean, at this point, I think all we can do is hope for adjustment. Hope that the Celtics come out in game 2 with adjustment. Their scheme defense. I'll say this. If the Celtics, even if they win game 2, and we are continuing to play this drop coverage on Philadelphia, and we win, but like it kind of feels the same, I will still be just as panicked, I think, as if we lost. Because it's just like it's crazy because the thing that I thought was going to take this team down was their 3-point shooting. I thought this was going to be a team that if they lost, it's because they just shot themselves out of the game. But it's not that. Their offense has been phenomenal. If they could play defense, they would be sweeping. They would have swept Atlanta, and they would be up 1-0 against Philly. And you could have been looking at a sweep against Philly if Embiid's still banged up. Like, Embiid's playing this series, but it's kind of clear that Joel Embiid will be around 45, 50%. And it's like, if you play to your capability, you beat this Philadelphia 76ers team, you go on to the Eastern Conference Finals, and you win the championship. It's just that simple. This roster is that good. It's that deep. Robert Williams needs to play more than 19 minutes. He sat and rotted on the bench all game. He is one of your best defenders, and he sits on the bench. And when he is in the game, he is playing Joe Mazzulla's terrible trash drop coverage defense. On against a team, when you play a team that loves the pick and roll, do I have to say it again? When the team that loves the pick and roll in the Atlanta Hawks, in the Philadelphia 76ers, and you play drop coverage in which their best player on the court is the point guard. When you play drop coverage on the point guard, he gets to make the decision. I can either pull up and shoot it, I can drive and get a foul, or I can find the big man who's either slipping or fading. It's switch it. Put Philadelphia in isolation play. They will do it. They will fall into the trap of the isolation play. I am okay if James Harden isolates Al Horford for 48 minutes and does this to us. But I am not okay if James Harden walks in to open mid-range jump shots and open step-back threes because our defensive scheme is allowed James Harden, who is one of the best scoring guards in NBA history, who has got the best vision, who I believe he averaged the most assists per game. I think Trae Young, who had the most assists total last series. Right now we're playing James Harden, who averages the most assists per games. By dropping back, you're allowing this guy who passes the ball so well to figure out what the hell he wants to do and how to dissect your defense. And you're letting him do it every possession. You're letting James Harden, the incredibly talented passer, an incredibly offensive gifted scorer, decide exactly how he wants to beat you because you are dropping back and you are letting him see the court, see the hoop, see the rim. The fact that me, the 19-year-old college student who loves the Celtics but doesn't know much about defensive scheming can see that and identify that as the clearest problem. There needs to be change. And if there's not change, I'm sorry, but you don't have the right coach. And you know me. I never say that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You said it. I mean, damn, normally I'm the one that ends up ranting on this show, but no, you got it today.
Yeah, you know what?
Today, I mean,
oh my God.
You're saying everything that needs to be said. The Celtics.
It's like the fact that the Red Sox are the one thing that is keeping the Boston fans happy is a real problem. The fact that my night was made by an Alex Verdugo walk-off home run is a real problem. Between the Bruins and the goddamn Celtics, it's a real problem, man.
It's because the Red Sox don't play at TD Garden. That's why.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Man, I don't know. It's just like I'm not even surprised. I think that's the problem. I'm not even surprised that the Celtics did this because they do it so often. Like it's one of those things where I think another problem Joe Mazzulla has, and you brought it up earlier, the fact that he doesn't play Robert Williams is really, really frustrating to me because it's not like he's injured. It's not like we're resting him or anything for the playoffs. We're in the playoffs. What are we resting him for? I don't care if he freaking trips over somebody or jumps over somebody to try to get a rebound. That's what the Celtics need. Why do you think they're letting every single person get to the rim in the second half? Did Robert Williams even play in the second half? I don't even remember seeing him on the court in the second half. Like, they kept having Al Horford out there, and granted,
he was terrible. Al's been awful this playoffs. I'm sorry. He just has been.
Al's been ass. Al's been showing. Yes. Al's been showing his age in this playoffs. Let's not lie here. He's 37 years old. But you know who we have? We have a 20-something-year-old guy on the bench who does everything better than Al Horford outside of shooting. And we continuously play Al Horford. Like, I love Al. I do. It's just one of those things where it's like, how many times are you going to do the same shit? How many times are you just going to play Robert Williams 19 minutes a night? How many times are you going to do it? How many times are you going to play Grant Williams 0 minutes? How many times is Sam Hauser going to continuously get more minutes than Grant Williams? It's just like they love their guard play, but when their guard play isn't working, they don't switch anything. Like Joe Mazzulla loves his guard play. He loves having Derek White and Malcolm Brogdon and Marcus Smart. I do too, but you have a big man. You do. It's not like Al Horford's your only center. Not like Robert Williams is injured. Like, Robert Williams is there. You can play him. It's okay. Fuck it. I'll have Rob shoot 3-point shots. I don't care. Let him shoot. They'll let him shoot. Maybe he'll make it once in a while. Who knows? It's just like, you need to play Robert Williams more. I don't care if he makes mistakes because at least he's not out there for his offense. He's out there for his defense. And he is your best defender outside of Marcus Smart, who, I mean, he got torched by James Harden all night, so I don't know if that's even up there. It's just one of those things where it's like...
And you know what?
It feels like the answers are there, but they just don't do it.
In a game in which, if Embiid was on the court, I would be okay with seeing Al because it kind of draws Embiid out of the paint. But in which a game where you got Paul Reed on the opposite side as manning the paint.
How did Paul Reed get 13 rebounds?
It should have been Robert Williams who was in the paint defending and rebounding and catching lobs because the Celtics were getting into the paint essentially whenever they wanted. If they had that weak side lob option, it would have made Philly's life miserable.
And guess what? Guess what worked in the first half? The weak
side lob. He had 6 quick points. So it's like I sit here. I'm still confident. I still think these guys can do it. They respond so well. I still think we're a much more talented team than Philadelphia. However, if they are winning these games, and if they do win the finals, if they do get out of the series, right, whatever it may be, if they do, first of all, we got to focus on game 2. If they do win game 2, right now, I don't think it's because of Joe Mazzulla. I do believe it is because of the players. If this team will go as far as these players want them to go. It's a shame because I do think Mazzulla's lack of adjustment and his inexperience is really causing this team to kind of go stall. But I mean, oh my God, and Grant Williams too. I mean, it's just like it's really, really frustrating to watch this team who is so much better than last year's team, but continues to play identical to last year's team. And it's just it's different problems too.
They play last year's team the wrong way.
Yeah.
Ime Udoka, which I hate doing this comparison every single time something bad happens.
Yeah.
Ime Udoka played this team the right way. You locked in on defense, and then you had your offense. Granted, your offense struggled at times, but I feel like it's a lot easier to get your offense going than it is getting your defense going. If you locked in on defense and you have guys that can lock in on defense on your bench, if you use those guys, you're going to win games. We saw it. It's just like, I think the problem is we've seen the heights that this team can reach, and we've seen how good this team can be. So anytime they play under their potential, which is very often right now, it gets frustrating. And it is frustrating. Also, this tweet by Keith Smith is hilarious. It said this stupid team couldn't close out a bunch of fourth graders. And he's not wrong, because they probably couldn't.
They couldn't.
And it's just like, I don't know. I mean, we're just two people sitting behind the screen being angry at ourselves, but it's just like, I don't know. How many times are we going to do it? How many times are they going to do it? I don't know. I also found it hilarious that after James Harden hit the three, at the end of the game, after he hit that three, the NBA ran a commercial for mental health awareness, like the mental health commercial. Yeah. I found that absolutely hilarious because my mental health ends up determining, it's basically based on this team. So I don't know.
It's just like, yeah. I was about to dial up that number. And be like,
I was about to dial up.
Yes, my basketball team sucks. I need help. And I hate to joke about it. It's no joke, mental health, but
I'm not joking about it.
But at the same time, haha, please help me. My basketball team hates me. It's like, oh my God. And listen, like I said, I think we got. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you can't first of all, you can't say we fire Missoula. That's one thing I won't say because we're in the playoffs.
That's not going to happen.
And yeah, it's not going to happen. We're in the playoffs. And quite frankly, do you really want 3 coaches in 3 years? That's how you create a toxic environment, and that's how your superstars leave. I think it's game 2 is it, Joe. You were deemed the chosen one, Joe. Everyone deemed Joe Mazzulla as this great head coach, great young head coach early on in the season. The Celtics.
Did you know he's only 34 years old?
Right? He's this great young coach. It's like, well, Joe, your problem's been defense, and you got 2 phenomenal defenders in both the Williams boys sitting on the bench, watching this team get cooked on the defensive end of the floor. So let's see. Game 2, we need adjustments. Game 2, no more drop coverage. Come out, blow them out. Blow them out. Do not allow them to keep it close. Make a statement. Brogdon said in his post-game interview, we need to come out in game 2 and make a statement. It's known. The players know it, right? It's up to the coach now. The coach has to make the move. The playoffs are a chess game. It's all about when one coach makes a move, you respond, you move your pawn, you move your king, right? And listen, right now the Celtics need to make a big move in terms of adjustments. And whether it's you're moving the pawn or you're moving the queen, right? Whatever it may be, a move needs to be made. We got to shake the game up a little bit because this drop coverage, this defensive scheme where we think is going to work isn't working. And the Celtics are absolutely on the hot seat. So I'm still sticking. I think season 6, or probably 7, honestly, if I'm being for real, not thinking about it, because
I said Celtics in 7 from the start. And you know why I say Celtics in 7 from the start? Because this team loves to do Celtics in 7. They love to play 7 games in the playoffs. Yeah. The Adam Silver must be so happy that the Boston Celtics play this way because it gives him more TV ratings because the Celtics love playing on national TV more than any other team I've ever seen in my life. I don't know, man.
And
it's
the
like,
Celtics love letting big-time players make big-time shots against them.
I think another thing is, like, it's crazy to think that the fact that we lost this game wasn't because of Tatum. Like, it's crazy to think that way.
Tatum had a phenomenal game.
Even in the second half, like, I think Tatum wasn't as aggressive as he was in the first half, which, I mean, that's nitpicking here. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. Boston teams love not playing up to their potential. So.
Yeah. So, like I said, Celtics, they take a 119-115 loss in game one. Some things to be concerned about, but no time to press the panic button, Boston. We're in the situation 2 out of the 3 rounds in the Eastern Conference Playoffs last year against the Bucks and the Heat. We have been down before. The playoffs is all about responding and making moves. However, Jason Tatum, he led all Celtic scorers with 39 points, 11 rebounds. However, James Harden's 45, little throwback to 2018 performance, got Philadelphia the win. Like I said, Philly without Joel Embiid, they steal game 1 on the road in Boston. Game 2 will be Wednesday, May 3rd. That game's at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Catch that game on TNT. You can catch us live here. Oh, geez, sorry. After the final buzzer sounds, I'll be in the arena at TD.
The Celtics have him sick. The Celtics have him sick, guys.
Yeah, right. It's been the Celtics have driven me into the ground, guys. Thank you so much for listening in, for watching in. And I'm Rob. Next to me is my boy